I got to tell you a story about something that changed my life, and I'll always remember it. I was working a job, and I remember talking to this dude. He was standing there, and I said to him, "Well, I guess we can't all have what we want in life all the time." And he said to me, "You have what you want in life. We all have exactly what we want in life because the choices that we have made have put us exactly where we are right now. If you wanted something different in life, you would have done something different in life. You are where you are because you want to be where you are. And I'm where I am because I want to be where I am. Every single one of us has the life we want because if we wanted something different, we would have done something different." I was pretty young at that time. I was just starting my working life, and I'd never been told that before. But I thought about it and I never forgot it. And I always remembered that. When I start to feel down about life, when I start to want to be a victim, I'm reminded I have the life I want. And when now, many years later, that was probably close to, well, I don't know, 15 years ago or something like that when this conversation I'm talking about happened. Now I look back over a decade and a half of working life, and I realize that all of the mistakes I made, all the misjudgments that I made, they were all choices that I made along the way because I wanted something in that moment. And so I made a choice. And I wanted whatever I chose at that time more than I wanted maybe what my stated goals about life were. Because I said I wanted something out of life, but I wasn't doing things that were going to put me on a path to have those things I wanted in life. And we often lie to ourselves and we say, "Oh, well, I would like to have wealth," but then we go out and we waste the little bit of wealth that we have, so we aren't able to work on trying to have a system of investment there. We say, "I would like to have successful relationships with people that are the right kind of people." But then instead of setting our standard correctly, setting our standard high, and then always looking for opportunities to buy into good things, we settle for things that are toxic or wrong because we would rather have the convenience of something accessible than the risk of not having anything at all. And as a result, we don't have the prize that maybe once we said we want. This is true in our careers, it's true in our life. There's people who say, "I would like to have time for myself. I would like to have time to spend with my family." And yet the truth is, whenever they have the opportunity to make a decision, they choose their job first because that's their priority. And no matter how much they say, "Gee, I wish," it doesn't matter because the decisions that they're making are all the decisions that are screaming, "I would rather have more money. I would rather have a successful career than to have a more relaxing and peaceful life. I would rather spend time chasing dollars than spend time with my family." And maybe they would say, "Well, no, I value my personal time. I value my family. I just don't have a chance to do that right now." But that's not true, because if they truly valued that, then they would have taken steps to have that. And in life, that's what we do so many times. And it's not always big things like your whole life that you're looking back over. Many times it's little stuff. It's just like, "Okay, I wish that I had more time this evening to play my favorite game." And there it is. It's 9 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock, it's 11 o'clock at night, and I didn't have a chance to actually do that yet. And why? Well, it's because I let somebody take an hour of my time here and there, and I got distracted looking at my phone, and I was watching my favorite YouTuber just a little bit too long, and then I was, just doing something random, and next thing you know, well, I didn't prioritize that thing that I had said I wanted to do tonight. I didn't prioritize it because I was tired or something else came up or I was easily distracted. So I can't blame my life and say, oh, how terrible, poor me, I didn't have a chance to do something I wanted to do. Because I put myself in a position where I didn't have time to do that thing because I didn't prioritize that thing. If you want to be able to do something in life, then you've got to make that thing come first. That's just how it is. And it's important to take ownership. Now, yes, it's true. Sometimes weird stuff happens. Life happens. And we don't always get to choose every single piece of our life. Not every single part of our life is just our book to write. We're going to get old. We're going to die. I mean, you can be 85 years old, and it doesn't matter how much you say, I would like to be 20 years old. Nothing you do is going to make you 20 years old. Too bad. You can't do that. So yes, there's limits and there's exceptions, but we're talking about the overall big picture here. How does life work? And overall, we have the life we want because we get a return on the investment that we put into it. And even when we talk about things like old age, you get old and you say, well, I didn't have a good life and I wanted to have a good life. I wanted to have something to leave for my posterity. I wanted to be able to look back on certain achievements. I wanted to be able to say that I had fun and did all these different things. Well, is that because you're a victim? Or is it because every single day for your entire life you made excuses and you said, what I said a decade and a half ago to that man, we can't have what we want. Life is what it is. Sometimes it just hands you lemons. We live our whole life that way, saying, well, you can't have everything you want, right? And so we settle for never putting any effort into the things we actually claim are our goals. Because we'd rather have momentary satisfaction than sacrifice now so we can have a return later. Or less money today so we can have a better quality of life every day. Or less consumption so that we can have more of the peace that comes from simplicity. Or more patience today so that we can have more value later on. So you see, when we get to the end of our life and we start to want to blame the universe for where we are, that's not fair. Someone said once, and I very much like this, the universe gives us not what we ask for, but what we think about the most. So if you spend all your time saying, I hate my life, I wish I didn't hate my life, the universe is going to give you a perpetual state of wishing that you did not hate your life. It's not going to actually give you blessings until you break out of that and you learn to say, I love the life that I have. And when you start to do that, when you start to focus on being grateful for what you have, when you start focusing on being a good steward of what you have, and when you start focusing on creating systems in your life that are going to empower you to put yourself in a better place, instead of just assuming that you are in a situation that's beyond your control because of circumstances that are beyond your influence, good things start to happen. Ownership is an important thing because when you stop blaming something beyond your control, that's when you then become able to see the things which are within your control. And it's also liberating, and it creates peace and joy in our lives when we do this, because there's nothing more valuable than feeling like you are in control of your life instead of just being a helpless pawn that is a victim. Thank you for watching.